Viewers, a big revelation has been made by former CDS Anil Chauhan on the inside details of Operation Sindoor. Speaking at Vimarsh, the event on Operation Sindoor and its aftermath at the Vivekananda International Foundation, Chauhan made astonishing revelations and said Indian loitering missions were sent to search for radars around Sargodha. He shared key insights on Operation Sindoor, India's military strategy, the decisions that shaped the operation, from revealing what Prime Minister Modi told CDS before the operations to explaining its 3 phases, India's preparedness and exit strategy. Chauhan details why India gained the upper hand. He discusses Pakistan's response, its difficulties in looking at the damages and the key lessons that it withdrew from Operation Sindoor.
There was a small episode about what I think Air Marshal Bharti was asked, that Kirana Hills episode. I think I'll clarify this. At occasions it's been asked whether Kirana Hills were hit or not. That's where their nuclear facilities are there. And with Bharti had rightly clarified that we did not target Kirana Hills. I can maybe given kind of an explanation. Before those strikes, we had sent in a lot of loiter ammunitions at Sargodha. And Kirana Hills is about 10 kilometers north of Sargodha. So the loiter ammunition is looking for radars which are in around Sargodha. And it's got a lifetime, means time. It will loiter for about 2 hours, and once it doesn't find a target, then it comes down and hits somewhere. It must have come and hit one of those hills. So that could be one of the reasons as to what people asked. Yes, because Pakistani media also showed some kind of images in which there was smoke coming out from Kirana Hills, and they were asking. Next is a new normal. You heard about this new normal, which the Prime Minister has said that there'll be talks and terror will not go together, blood and water will not flow together, will not tolerate cross-border terrorism, and will make no distinction between perpetrators and their handlers, and then will not be blackmailed or by nuclear blackmail.
And viewers, this is the big news coming in. India hit Kirana Hills. Major General Sudhakar ji is going to be joining me, strategic affairs and defense expert. But I want to tell you exactly what it means when we say that India hit Kirana Hills. It means this was one of the big setbacks that was given to Pakistan. He says, Anil Chauhan, CDS of that time had said, Kirana is where their nuclear facilities were. General Chauhan says loitering missions were seen to search for radars around Sargodha. Kirana itself, Hills says it must have come and hit one of those hills, he says. So very, very clearly, before those strikes, there was loitering missions at Sargodha that were seen. Kirana Hills is about 10 kilometers north of Sargodha, he says. Let me go across to my defense expert, Major General Sudhakar ji, strategic affairs and defense expert who's joining us. Namaste, sir. The big question today, which we are asking, the former CDS now says the script says there were development proven early, Chinese involvement in Pakistan nukes was there. What evidence is clearly showing that Chinese involvement was also there in this?
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you for taking me for your show. My take on the whole issue is it must be understood by the common public that there are some exchange of information about the sensitive installations that take place between India and Pakistan. This is with regard to the nuclear installations and the civilian nuclear facility as also the military ones. To the best of my research and study, Kirana Hill does not exist as a declared nuclear site as submitted by Pakistan. So if a stray loiter ammunition has gone and hit, what difference does it make? I think the Chief of Defence Staff, the former Chief of Defence Staff, he is entitled, reserved to make a statement on that issue. I think that's a very well-deserved answer. Now, coming to the central point of the question which you have asked, yes, it is quite possible. Rather, I would say that Chinese hand is very much was there. It is very much there now, even now. But it is important to understand what was existing in Kirana Hill. That is very, very important. They have had clandestine activities in '83. Pakistan has had clandestine and undeclared activities in 90s, and subsequently they have had the cold testing process. That's a very unique and special kind of a test which is conducted under GARBs. So therefore, Pakistan has been carrying out very sensitive and undeclared tests close to Sargodha. And so therefore, even if a stray loiter ammunition has gone and hit, I think there is no harm. So I hope that answers your question, unless you have anything more specific to ask.
So the larger question that I also want to ask you then is, the former CDS, like you were mentioning, has also said India sent loitering missions around Sargodha. You were speaking about it. They were searching for radars. What does this also tell us about the intelligence that India had before the strikes, sir?
Well, being a retired veteran of a military man, I'll go by the official version which has come out till now. And we had a very senior Air Force officer, Air Marshal Bharti, who gave the statement. We never targeted Kirana. And if at all something has gone and hit, well, it is the explanation is given best by the former CDS. But having said that, let me also demystify or mystify a lot of hearsay which went up the air from Pakistan side. They showed a missile having gone and hit the mouth of a tunnel, and the fumes and the smoke which was emanating, and subsequently from the radar. You see, the fact remains, whether it is a missile or a stray loiter ammunition, Kirana Hills has been hit inadvertently or advertently. I wish government of India had openly stated and made a remark that yes, we have hit it because that was under our scanner and target. But that is not true. The truth has been given out by the public servant who was in the uniform, and further been amplified and clarified by the former CDS, General Anil Chauhan. But in addition to that, all I would say is that Pakistan would have done better by having declared this particular site in the formal declaration, which takes place, to the best of my memory, sometime once in a year, maybe February or March. And there is no point hiding such things from the neighbor. If they keep hiding, if they retain the authority to hide, then the neighbor, in case of adverse situation, retains the authority to, send unaccountable loiter ammunition going and hitting the tunnel. So this kind of game cannot go. It's not a cat and mouse kind of a game here. It's a very sensitive thing that they're dealing with. It will do good to Pakistan to come out in the open rather than helping them to create a situation to call the nuclear bluff. It is always better that Pakistan comes out on board and declares every such hidden kind of sensitive installations with India, so that next time a mishap of this nature, maybe inadvertently, does not take place. That is what is the matter.
Absolutely.
Which is important. Otherwise, it may create a mayhem. And if you remember, after the Kirana Hill was hit, Pakistan was absolutely in a melee, and there was an evacuation of large number of Pakistanis from the surrounding areas.
Yes.
And we are witness to the consignment of boron coming from all the way from Nile River.
Yes.
And one flight after another. So it's a very dangerous situation. It will not only put the people of Pakistan in serious danger, but also India, by virtue of being the easterly kind of a location, we also are vulnerable to get the western winds coming from Pakistan side. So both the countries would do well to put measures in place so that these kind of accidents are prevented.
And Major General Sudhakar ji, as I thank you for being with us, the big question also, Kirana Hills now tells us about India's military capabilities and the message India wanted to send to Pakistan. I thank you for being with us and giving us and enlightening us with that perspective.